Eh. Okay. Oh no.
Hello. I am Angie.
Yeah.
I am so Angie. I was trying to do something cute in chat for when you got back, and Bot decided to activate shield mode and clear the whole thing.
Oh, there we go. Now I'm back here. So basically,
again?
yeah. Basically,
Okay.
what happened is I went downstairs and reset the modem. I'm probably gonna have to like redo my tracking. But hopefully, not holding my breath, but hopefully, that took care of my problem.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
Picking up from where we left off, because we are only 26 monsters in and 2 hours have passed. Ebony Adogeron.
I like this one a lot. Surprising no one.
I'm much more of a sucker for the cooler colors, so the blue's definitely winning me over a lot more than the red.
Yeah.
And the dragon element effect is just so good.
It works very well for this.
It's so good. Just what if you take the Adogeron and made it angrier?
Exactly. And to me, like, just the little like color variants, because like the ends of the claws are red, the claws are black now. You've got the little blue sheen on it, and if you look, you can see like the blue to like an indigo, almost like a purple on the tail. It's like there's so much more variance.
Yes.
In this design. And to me, it's enough for me to bump that to like the tail end of Masterpiece.
I can agree with that, yeah.
Because, like, again, it's a very unique monster. And it's rad. And I'm here for it.
Now, another monster that premiered in Monster Hunter 1, but has been significantly more absent than the other Monster Hunter ones that we've seen. Ravios.
It's a funky little dragon.
Do you remember did you ever fight the Basarios in Rise?
I don't think I did.
Weird little, like, rocky boulder dragon.
I think I saw it.
Okay.
But I don't remember fighting it.
Basarios are juvenile Gravios. So this thing has a very rocky, scuffed texture to its scales.
Yeah, it's like points, flims.
Points, flimb. Also, weirdly long legs.
Yeah, I noticed that. Is like the legs are like almost like perfectly midway on its like body, the tail.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, this render is like it is rearing back in this pose.
Yeah.
When it's standing normally, its body is much more straight. I'm trying to think. Like it's much more of like it's much closer to like a Rathian's posture, but even more straight, but with really long legs.
Yeah. Ooh, those sound good, Nia.
Yeah. Tasty.
I also noticed that it's like its claw on its wing is like really wide.
Yeah. Big, kind of not blunt, but just
wide.
No. Okay. Discord just got and then brought you back in for me.
No.
Whatever. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
really cool.
It's a neat dragon.
Ah, I got stuck on my nostril. I'm sorry if any of my nose is blowing.
No, it's not going through at all, by the way. So you're good. Yeah.
That said, I don't necessarily know if I want to put this thing like absolutely no higher than high, and definitely at the lower end of high.
Yeah. I can agree with that, actually.
You know, stick him at the tail end of high.
Yeah. I think it's a fair placement.
Well, while it is a dragon, and while I do have some issues, particularly with its height, it's kind of a fun fight.
Yeah.
It's very different from the other flying wyverns. It has big fire laser beam attack. It likes to do this doofy sort of like... Best way I can describe it is if the fat rolling in Dark Souls was allowed to be a monster attack, it could do that. You know what I mean? Just that really slow sort of tumble.
Yeah. I like that.
It's a very goofy monster. He's not too threatening. Most of his challenge is honestly just how tall he is. Actually trying to hit the darn thing can be tricky. Yeah, I'll stick it at bottom end of high scoring. That'll work.
Yeah. Like that's fair to me.
Now, this guy might get bonus points just because of the render, but this is the only render we have. At least one that's not, like, covered in other stuff.
Yeah.
Black Gravios.
It's in the lava.
I mean, to be fair, regular Gravios can also go in the lava. In fact, I think that's part of what its long legs are for, is letting it wade out into lava without getting too coated in it. But as badass as this render looks, Black Gravios is basically just Gravios, but black.
Yeah, like...
It's not... I think it has more fire attacks, but...
Yeah, like, I think, like, a similar situation here with, like, the Diablos is just... It's kind of the same, just a slightly different color.
Yeah.
A little different. So, a little bit higher.
I'd be willing to stick this thing above regular Gravios, but I don't know
Not
if
much higher than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kinda agree with that, actually. Like, it's cool.
These guys premiered in the first generation, and I think their most recent was 4 Ultimate. And while the Basarios has been shown off more recently, these guys have been nowhere to be seen since.
Oof.
Now, moving on to another one of the newest monsters from the Sunbreak DLC. Garangolm.
That is...
Garangolm is so sick of a design. This guy is awesome.
It's like a kind of like a hybrid of like a minotaur and like a fucking, instead of like the upper half being like humanoid, it's an ape.
It's a gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
well, I want to
cool.
specify something. I want to specify something with this guy's design. He is one of the... I can't remember the specific term, but he's one of basically the big 3 monsters that were introduced with Sunbreak. And each of them is based on... Is this how Gorilla Glue is made? Mia, no.
What the fuck?
But each of these big 3 monsters is based on one of the famous horror monsters from actual folklore. Or not folklore, but fiction.
Yeah.
Garangolm is Frankenstein's monster.
That's cool.
Which you can definitely see in that big squared head of his.
Yup.
Especially with the giant, with the chin that takes up half of his head.
Yup, I see it.
And fight-wise, also really cool when this guy gets angry. One arm gets covered in, like, steaming hot rocks.
Yeah.
And the other arm is covered in, like, soggy moss. So when he gets angry, he actually gets to become a dual water-fire monster in a way.
Okay, that's cool.
Garangolm is amazing. He is so cool. Oh, I'm sorry, Bucket.
Oh, no. You know, every little like bit that I see, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Every little bit that I see of this, it just like I feel like it kind of needs to go in Masterpiece.
It kind of does. Like, just being the Frankenstein's monster basis alone kind of sticks it up really high, but the execution on that is just so good.
Yeah, like it's so
it's not
unique.
Yeah, and it's not obviously Frankenstein's monster, but when I say that, you can see the popular depictions of that character in Gargoyle.
Yeah. I dig that.
Yeah. And I also just love like the reverse scales down his arms as like armor, the big spikes on his back. He's a cool monster. He's so cool.
Absolutely. I very much agree with that.
His head looks like it could flip upside down and it'd still work. Bucket, you're a dork and I love you.
Ma'am. Armor. Armor.
Now, where are we putting him in Masterpiece is the question. I'm guessing towards the higher end, right?
This is where it's gonna get real tough.
Yeah. Like, does he clear Valhazak in terms of design? I personally say yes.
I can agree with that, actually.
You're cool with that?
I can agree with that.
Alright, does he beat the Bloodbath Diablos and the Pyre Arachna?
You know what?
Yeah?
Put him in between.
Put him in between both of them?
Put him in the middle.
You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that.
I think that's a fair spot.
Yeah, Garen Golem is just really good. Now, this is a monster that was introduced in Monster Hunter Portable 3rd. Was not included in 3 Ultimate, and has not been seen since until Sunbreak. After I stopped playing. I'm not going to try pronouncing this thing's whole name. Amatsu.
Fuck, that's cool.
Yeah, very true, Neo. Garen Golem does earn a lot of points for being a unique monster as opposed to a subspecies of another one. But
fuck, that's cool.
Yeah, this thing is another Elder Dragon. Obviously. Very wind focused. I like the sea dragony aspect to him.
It kind of looks like a koi fish. Like its pattern looks kind of like a koi fish.
Or a koi fish. That very like just flowy, finny aquatic creature.
I really like it.
Really a living hurricane, much more so than the other wind-focused Elder Dragon.
It's so cool, especially those big fucking horns.
Amatsu Magasuchi is its full Japanese name. Thank you, Bucket. Right, I think in Sunbreak it was just called Amatsu. I don't know. Again, I stopped playing Sunbreak before this thing popped up.
The mega long whiskers and those massive fuck off horns.
Yeah.
Just like
this thing's kind of sick looking. I'm not gonna lie. This thing's kind of awesome.
I want to put this thing in gems. I want to put this thing
really?
in gems.
A new monster to the cat that's going in gems. Awesome.
This is just, it's so rad. Like, I feel like I don't see like too many designs that are just like that fucking cool. That's kind of how I felt when I first saw like Namiel. I was like, holy shit.
Alright, now, does he clear the laggies or no?
For me, I would say so.
For me, it's hard just because the laggies are so close to my heart.
That's me with Namiel. So I understand.
I think I could put them above... Yeah, go ahead, Wilson. I don't care.
Yeah.
We're not judging based on fights, just looks and design, but... I think I would personally put Amatsu above regular laggy, but below Abyssal. Because Abyssal's, like, nothing against Amatsu, but that black and the glowing cyan on Abyssal is really hard to top for me.
And you know what? I think that's fair, because I will say the same thing when anything comes to Namiel, because something's gotta be really goddamn awesome for me to put it above Nami.
Yeah, Wilson? And the Surfer Bro Ninja guy?
I do.
And wait for Wilson to finish before we move on. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. I love that the big Elder Dragon fights in Rise really capitalize on the monster riding mechanic as part of the fight.
That's pretty cool.
Hell yeah. And speaking of Zenogres, we have the Zenogre.
One of the coolest themes in the game.
This is another one that is going in gems just because of me. I love Zenogre.
Yeah, that's fair.
I adore Zenogre.
And
it's so awesome.
I am gonna be honest as well. I
Yeah?
really fucking love the Stygian.
Stygian is really good.
Stygian's really fucking cool.
I sometimes giggle to myself that Zenogre and Stygian Zenogre share the Sonic and Shadow color palette swap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zenogre's blue and has gold. Sonic is blue and turns gold. And then Stygian is black and red with silver. Shadow is black and red and turns silver.
I like that
that is also true. Zenogre is one of the two monsters that got Bucket to try Monster Hunter.
Let's go. It's so cool.
It's a giant electrical wolf dragon. Like, what's not to love about that?
That's true.
Also, this render of him is just fucking sick too. Alright. So, do you have a preference for where in gems he goes, or?
I'm interested to where you think.
This is hard because for me, he and Laggy are on the same level, but I do have to pick a place for them.
Yup. I feel that.
I think, as sad as it is to say, Zenogre does lose out just slightly to Laggy.
That's fair.
He is still top dog. He is still top
He
dog.
is definitely top dog.
The only things to get into gems are our absolute favorites.
Anything up in that tier is gonna be real. It's gonna be a jumbled mess by the time that we're done.
Like,
but
here's the thing: this is technically in order, but it's like this guy beats this guy by like 0.1.
And like, this is the thing with me. I am going to be biased with that gem tier because
me too.
It's real fucking hard for something to beat Namiel for me.
Stygian Zenogre.
Stygian's really fucking cool.
Stygian is amazing. Like, honestly, I'd probably put, as much as I love Zenogre for being one of my Thunder Trio, Stygian probably beats regular Zenogre just because that color palette. I love the blue and the gold, but the black and the red is just such a hard combo to beat.
It's so cool. And it's such a fun fight. It's such a fun
fight. It's a dragon monster. It goes from electric to dragon.
Yeah,
Like-
literally, it is literally
Uh-huh.
like the best part of the guiding lines.
Mm-hmm. The fact they locked these things into that is criminal.
It hurt my soul.
But yeah, I'm gonna put Stygian right above regular. And now for the Zenogre that was premiered in Generations.
I'm intrigued to see this one.
So we've seen blue and gold.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen black, red, and silver.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of green and gold?
It looks so angry.
This is the Thunderlord Zenogre.
Fucking Thunderlord.
I'm not gonna lie, like I do love the cyan electricity of the Zenogre, but the gold electricity is kind of awesome as well.
Oh my god, I realize what this Zenogre is.
Yeah?
It's Blanca.
Oh my gosh, it is Blanca.
It's Blanca. It's fucking Blanca Zenogre.
Oh my gosh, it is.
It's fucking Blanca Zenogre.
But no, honestly, the switching of Zenogre's kind of cyan to more green, and then giving the electricity and the highlights the gold.
It does
That's also
like
really cool.
it works. The color palette works for it. The Thunderlord.
I think I might put Thunderlord just below regular Zen,
I think
but
that'd be
it's
fair.
hard because like Stygian obviously is top of the three for me.
Yes.
But between regular Zen and Thunderlord, I don't know which color palette I like more. Because the gold electricity looks amazing, but so does the cyan.
Honestly,
Yeah?
I think it would be fair to put like regular above.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because I think like the cyan pops a little bit more.
The cyan does pop a little bit more. Like that, I guess that is the other thing too, is like as good as the gold electricity looks, outside of Monster Hunter, electricity is so often portrayed as yellow gold that seeing the other colors in Monster Hunter is just awesome.
That's like as its position indicates, anytime there is black lightning,
Mm-hmm.
like there are not
Anything-
many instances where you see black lightning.
I don't like when Fancy said, yeah, that's the Zenogre when it goes Super Saiyan. Alright. 34th monster. Hailing from Monster Hunter 1. Yan Kutku.
It's funny. It's a raptor bird.
Is like a plucked chicken.
It does in fact look like a featherless chicken.
It's a plucked Angie chicken.
It's really is.
I mean, I think most of my luck with this guy, yeah, Kutku-san. I think most of what I like about this design is just how goofy he looks.
It does look really silly.
Like this, I think this is the first monster we've hit. It's like most of the appeal is coming not from how cool it is, but how doofy it is.
It literally does just look like a featherless bird.
It is also really funny hearing this thing because it does just squawk.
It's like
It does just make like really loud, like bassy bird noises.
so, and like I want to put this toward like the lower end of high, but just purely because it's making me giggle. I'm gonna be real.
I'd say higher end of low. Honestly.
That's probably more fair. That honestly is probably fair.
In Monster Hunter 1, it was.
Listen, Wilson.
Hunter 1, it was.
In World, people got stuck on Anjanath. I just want that to be noted.
Actually,
A large number of people stopped at Anjanath.
I'll stick him below the Durambroses.
That's
Because the
that's
Durambroses
fair.
had a little bit more visual appeal going on with the whole moss coating and like kind of cragginess to them.
Yeah. This
It's
is
just a featherless bird.
it's a featherless bird.
Yeah, no, like literally in Monster Hunter 1, I believe your attacks were controlled with the right analog stick, not buttons.
Oh god. Oh, I have heard like horror stories of
Monster
the old
Hunter 1
controls.
Monster Hunter 1 is such a mess. It is a wonder that the series was allowed to continue, honestly.
Me sitting here getting flashbacks of attempting to play original Drakengard.
So we have seen Jan Kutku, but what about Blue?
But blue, that looks so much sillier. Oh my god.
These things, the birds are just hilarious.
Like, obviously I'm gonna put it above the other one, but it's so goofy.
Why does Blue beat regular?
Look at it.
You just like the color a little bit more.
Also, the fact that this render is in like, I think the fact that this one is in motion makes it so much fucking goofier looking. But the blue does look better on it. However,
looks like a cereal mascot.
It's coming for your Fruit Loops. it's
Just
coming.
follow your nose. Before it fucking head smashes into your head.
Just fucking smashes through the fucking wall to grab your Fruit Loops and
that is actually an attack that this thing does. Is it just squawks and then just slams its head straight down, trying to bash you with its beak.
Cool.
These guys are goofballs. All right, he goes above the regular.
Brother, may I have some loops?
These guys. You're not wrong, Mako.
I love that I can audibly hear that piped out.
Yeah. From Monster Hunter 3. One of the only two flat leviathans.
Quiet.
Global.
This thing, I'm gonna be honest. Design-wise, really fucking cool.
It is a combination like flatfish, pufferfish, anglerfish.
This thing
Global is fun.
This thing goes in high, absolutely.
Yeah,
because like
I want one of the two flat leviathans to come back because they are fun.
They are cool. Like, this is a cool design. Fucking. I knew it. I knew it was fucking coming. I knew it. Knew somebody was gonna do that.
Yeah, what were you about to say, Kat?
But it's just like the fact that this thing is like, it's like a pufferfish, anglerfish, sort of flounder as well, but with legs and little like tendrils.
Those
like,
are actually whiskers.
Yeah, they're like tendrily whiskers.
Like, I think part of the way this thing hunts is it does bury itself in the dirt underwater, and it lets the whiskers like float up like little like bits of kelp or plants or something, and when it feels something brush against the whiskers, it jumps out to eat it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I love that this thing has like multiple hunting methods.
Yeah. It's like, honestly, I do want to put it like part way up into high, because just like it's a good color palette for it.
It's a cool fish. It's a really cool fish.
It's a cool monster. Like, all things considered, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I think I want to put it just like right before the crab.
Right before the crab. You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. Gobble is a very, very unique design. That is a very solid placement for it.
It's a cool design. I want to see more. I want to see a few monsters like that return. I think you know the other one that I really want to see come back.
I think.
Which I will gush about a little bit if it pops up.
Also, I'm curious, Bucket, what did you see that you wish you could unsee with Gobble? And while he types that, we can continue on. A monster from Monster Hunter 4. The Kechawacha.
Look at this goofy little guy.
He's goofy.
People's throat kind of looks like an asshole, you know? Kind of a little bit in that render. Kind of did, yeah.
Yeah, no, we have the Ketchawacha. We have like a goofy little monkey fella.
Little marsupial, almost.
Yeah.
Kind of funky. I like it. There's a
This was the monster that they introduced to help teach the like the verticality mechanics that they went with in 4.
Yeah.
Which is like some climbing and like ceilings and like semi-permeable floors that monsters can hop up and down through.
Yeah.
This thing is a very arboreal sort of creature. I love that the hook claws are clearly meant for it to help swing around.
Yeah.
It is very goofy.
I like that. I do like that design.
Here's a small monster, a really hard-shelled like little isopod called a conchu in 4.
Oh, yeah. No, I know the conchus.
Yeah, and you hit them and they roll up into a ball. These guys would grab conchu and curl them up and then throw them at you. and yes, like Bucket said, when it gets angry, it actually folds its ears down over its face, which we will see in the render for the subspecies.
I love that.
Yeah. But no, like honestly, as a I don't know where I want to put him, like low high or high low. I don't know where to put the Ketchawacha.
I want to put this one in low high, like, cause like it's different.
Yeah,
it is very different.
I feel like I need a broom for this hunt to smack it. Okay, so does he clear the Gravioses?
I would say so. I think so.
I'd almost put him just below the crab.
I think that's fair, actually.
Like in crab and Almudron?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, that works. Following from that, we have its subspecies, and a good example of what Bucket was saying with the whole ears covering over its head to look like a mask. The Ash Ketchawacha.
See, that's rad.
Mm-hmm.
Also, kind of looks like a flying squirrel.
Their ears they do have a little bit of flying squirrel energy to them. They do actually have like small glide attacks.
Or
honestly, now that I think about it, these guys almost feel like a proto Toby Katachi in a way.
Kind of. I thought of something else that might be a little more appropriate for this like kind of design. It kind of looks more like a sugar glider.
Yeah. Sugar glider.
Yeah.
I do like the eye spots that both function, whether its ears are up or if they're down over its head. That's honestly just a neat design. The long snout is still very goofy looking to me.
It really is. It does definitely go above the other one, though.
Oh, you'd put it above the other one?
I would put it above the other one, yeah. I don't know if I'd put it above the crab.
You're fine, Bucket. Don't worry about it. I would actually put this guy below the other one because I think I kind of like the regular Ketchawacha's color more for once.
That's fair.
Like, don't get me wrong, the silver looks fine, but the orangey yellows actually kind of, I think, works better for this sort of monkey squirrel creature.
No, I can see it. I got you. You know what? That's fair.
Yeah, let's stick him right there.
Yeah.
We have, also hailing from Monster Hunter 1, but showing up somewhat intermittently, the Cephadrome.
Jesus Christ.
It is a fish that digs through the sand. It's another Piscine wyvern.
I'm gonna be honest, it's real hard to get past that head.
This is like the best looking render.
It's the dumb fish in the trash.
It's an annoying fish. Cause yeah, it has a lot of hip checks, it had janky hip checks, but unlike the other fish, it has minions that fight with it.
So
This thing sucks. This, like, fight-wise, this thing is awful.
I'm gonna be honest. I do like the fact that it's like little fin things are like super thin.
And it has a little spit attack that paralyzes you.
I'm gonna be real though.
Yeah.
I think this might be the first one we put in See You in Expedition.
I was gonna stick him in the exact same spot. This guy is just like.
When I saw the image, I was like, "Oh, is this gonna be like an eel?" And
seeing
this,
it's just a fish with a weird flat head.
This is like something I see at night after I've had like fucking nachos at like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I would have the weirdest fucking dream.
Oh gosh, that is a very good description. Like, I can laugh at its appearance. Very little is honestly working with this thing.
This is like
outside of just being a big fish.
This is the thing you see when you have like a bad experience with food at like late at night.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. It's a goofy looking fish. Yeah, no, those proportions. I
am so angry that all of its renders have it drooling like this.
The dick monster.
Mm-hmm.
The phallus.
The absolute fucking trash thing that should stop being used.
You know there's a plush?
Mm-hmm.
Kezu.
You know what?
Kezu.
You know
what?
I will say it.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is only popular because of the memes around it.
Yes, it is. It's only popular because it looks like a dick. That's literally it.
Because of that, because of the whole hee Keju theme best theme.
It can't hear anything. It has no ears.
It's not that it doesn't. It's that it doesn't have eyes. So it can't see you.
It can't initiate.
So the music doesn't start.
Yeah, it can't initiate.
Mm-hmm. No, I think we know what to do with the Keju, right, Danny?
Yes, exactly.
There we go.
Wanna see the worst thing ever? What's the worst thing ever, Nia? Well, it does it way too often. I like its roar. It's the howling of a mountain.
Its roar is fairly cool. It just does it way too fucking much.
The only thing that I will say that I absolutely hate is the fact that I actually like the look of Kezu's fucking armor.
The nursey look?
Yeah. I hate that they made the fucking, like, nurse outfit. Yeah, no, Nia, that's fucking... That's horrible. That's horrendous.
Do not send it to me, Nia, please.
Fuck.
Alright.
Kezu's just not great. Oh, that looks even worse.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Why is it neon blue?
I don't know. But it is. And I'm only showing it just to give proper diligence. All the monsters get a turn, as much as we don't like them.
Yes.
Yeah, Bucket's right.
Yeah. And Kezu is just it's just the phallic monsters. That's what Kezu is.
The other one. Alright, there we go. Trash is taken out. Continuing on. Where am I? Here we go. A good designed monster. Ishiten.
Monkey.
Goofy, like, Tengu monkey that throws fruit.
I do
it's
appreciate
an
that.
asshole.
Yeah, it is.
That like it's not that it's angry or anything. It's just a jerk. It's just mean. It throws fruit.
It just throws fruit.
I like the idea of a winged monkey. I will admit.
It's got little like a little bit of Wizard of Oz in there.
Yeah, a little bit actually.
But a flying monkey.
Yeah, some of its movement is weird. But I do like the featheriness to it.
It's neat.
It's kind of funny that it's got, like... Again, that's obviously coming from the Tengu inspirations in it, but...
Yeah.
Is funny bird monkey
Yeah.
that chucks giant persimmons at you.
I love that that was the model they decided to use.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, it's great. It's hilarious. No joke, I actually do genuinely love the concept of this thing. Just a big feathered monkey that chucks fruit at you.
You know, the funniest thing about that? I actually
Yeah.
have a persimmon tree.
Oh, neat.
So I get to see a lot of those. They do taste really good.
Oh, that is cool. That is cool, Bucket. And yeah, it is fun that when you knock it over, it does drop a bunch of fruit that you can then pick up and use yourself. Alright. Where are we putting Bishiten? Marsupial Bucket.
I'm trying to think, because I don't know if I want to put it above the crab.
The Shen?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously the Shen.
I love that Shin has become literally like
Shen
the
is,
median.
yeah, he is the barrier. You have to be cooler than a giant spider crab wearing an elder dragon skull to pass.
That's the bouncer to the club.
He's the bouncer, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think in terms of the monkey-like creatures, he is better than Ketchwacha for me.
Yeah.
So I would put him above the Ketches.
I think that's where I would put him too.
Moving on to Sunbreak, Bishiten got a subspecies that instead of throwing fruit... yeah. Just giant claw reaches down, gently grabs your ID out of your hand and lifts it back up. Anyway. Moving on from Bishiten, we have the Blood Orange Bishiten.
It's pine cones.
Not just pine cones, it throws exploding pine cones. 'Cause this is another
Exploding.
blast monster.
Exploding pine cones.
Yep.
Oh.
And its intro cutscene literally has it chucking exploding pine cones at other Bishiten.
My god.
Like, I love that this guy is, what if we took the Bishiten idea but made it just a little bit more ludicrous?
It's so funny.
I love that it's exploding pine cones. Honestly, just for the pine cones alone, I would put him above regular Bishiten.
I think I would too. Also, like, I kind of like the more, like... Kind of looks more like a monkey with this color palette.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a more natural color palette for this shape of creature.
Yeah.
Also, that's just a fun name, too. The Blood Orange Bishiten.
One of my favorite oranges.
They're good. They're my favorite, too.
I love blood orange so much. Because it's
I
like
like
that
the-
perfect mix. It's the perfect in-between of a grapefruit and orange.
We have, hailing from Monster Hunter 1, the Velocidrome. And yes, this was the best render I could find of it.
It is a raptor.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for the hydrate.
And yeah, Wilson does have a point. Certain species of pine cones do actually require lots of heat for them to actually open up and spread seeds.
It is
So,
true. Chicken.
Granted, I don't think that said pine cones actually self-ignite and explode, but you know.
Yeah, no,
It's
that would
fancy.
be
It's
the oh, what is it called? Fucking there is a tree that does that.
Uh-huh.
I forget the name of it. But what it does is its seeds, when they become dry, they just explode.
Mm-hmm.
At 160 miles per hour, by the way.
Yep.
Scary ass fucking trees.
But when it comes to this guy, like, it's a good, simple, clean raptor, but I don't know if I really want to put him above low, because
Yeah, I think
it is just a raptor.
honestly, like, somewhere in, like, the middle of low. Also, I remembered the name of the tree. It's the dynamite tree.
Fittingly named.
That tree is fucking horrifying.
Does he beat or lose to the two birds?
Honestly, design-wise, I think this is better. Just because, like, it's a raptor. It's a stylized raptor. It's a raptor.
Yeah. It does have the hooked claws and all that, so...
Who named it that? What, the dynamite tree? It makes sense when you look into it. Like, the seeds literally explode. The tree's covered in, like, fucking spikes. It emits some kind of toxin. It's kind of it's literally, like, probably one of the most metal trees in existence.
Mm-hmm.
Happy time zone.
Hi, bystander. Alright, and then actually bystander just joined at a pretty good time, because we've hit another Elder Dragon.
Oh my god, is it?
In Velkhana.
Okay. Velkhana's really fucking pretty.
It's actually, like, for an ice dragon, this is a really sick ice dragon.
It's a unicorn dragon. Not an actual unicorn dragon, but more dragon than unicorn and ice.
Yep. I honestly have an extra soft spot for Velkhana because I love creatures that have ice armor. Like, specifically around its head, that's not just part of it, that's just ice that has shaped onto its head to form those spikes.
And I love that visually. I know the fight does not play any part in this, but watching, like, the ice reform or get chipped away is just... There's something, like, so visually satisfying about that. Also...
And I think the other thing Oh, go on.
Out of the Elder Dragons that I fought in World, I did enjoy the fight with Velkhana a lot.
It's a fairly solid fight, yeah.
It did not make me frustrated.
For Elder Dragon standards, it's very, I'd say, clean middle of the road. Yeah,
I would agree with that. I do love it because I also have a soft spot for the ice.
I especially love that the ice on it isn't just like a big block of ice, but it looks like it's lots of those really thin, sharp, like ice needles.
It is literally ice shards, and
it's like halfway between like full ice and frost. Yeah, which is super cool.
And like for me, I would say that it does belong up in the gems.
I would have gone Masterpiece, but I can accept the gem if you want to put it in gem.
I would put it at low gem.
Below the Xenogres?
Yeah. Because, like, I do really like it.
I'll take that.
For the categories, we have our favorites in the gems. We have Masterpiece, high scoring, and we have low. We have Sea on Expeditions, and then Kezu.
And we are ranking not based on fights, just because most of these are things Danny hasn't fought, but aesthetics and design.
Yeah, gameplay experience-wise, I've played World and a little bit of Rise.
Yeah.
I've seen some of these, but yes.
Now, going from one of the biggest, most glorious creatures in all of World to this scrungly little doofus.
This is fucking...
Yaku.
This fucking little flashing asshole.
The troll raptor that runs up to other big stuff, flashbangs it, and then runs away cackling.
Literal fucking asshole. I love it, but it's such a fucking asshole.
It's such a... And yes, Bucket's right. Whenever you knock it over, it squawks like a chicken.
It does do that. Fucking...
I want to put this guy in low-high, but I don't think he's going to go any higher.
Yeah.
Just because, like, like, I love this guy for the goofs that he causes. Design-wise, like, the ears are kind of cool, and the flashbang effect is kind of cool. But there's nothing really other special going on.
Yeah, like, honestly, I would agree with the low-high. I think that's perfectly fine. Because, like, outside of the very prominent flashing aspect, CC is literally, like, a full-on raptor.
Yeah.
But, like, actual, like, realistic-looking raptor.
Mm-hmm.
Which I give props for.
Where in the high section do you want to put him? Like, below the monkeys?
You're definitely below the monkeys for me.
Does he beat the Gravios?
Yeah, actually, I probably would say I would say that's fair.
Okay, so like right here?
Yeah, I'd say right
Or
there.
one higher?
No, I'd say like right there is probably fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, going from that guy to one of the community's most beloved critters from World. Let me resize this image a little bit.
I love
Dodogama.
I love this goofy little rock munching iguana.
Just the head empty little rock eating.
I love Dodogama.
He's so cute. I just want to grab him by the face and just like ruffle his head. He's so cute.
My favorite thing about Dodogama is just occasionally going around a map and you just see them just buried down, like, just their fucking goofy little face poking out. Munching on rocks. That's just all they want to do. They just want to sit. They just want to lounge around and munch on rocks.
They're just an iguana.
Yeah.
They're just a rock munching iguana.
It's fucking adorable.
I don't want to put him in gem because honestly, like, as much as I love him, I don't think I'd call him a gem for me.
He's a precious being, though.
And design-wise, while it is really good, honestly, he might only make it to the top of high rank for me.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair because Dodogama is rock-eating iguana. But it's just like so head empty looking.
It's all its behavior that pushes him higher for me. Design-wise, he is fairly straightforward.
Yeah, but good color palette.
Very good color palette.
The blue trailing into orange.
Really well.
Really good.
Sorry, Wraths, but the goodest of boys just gets natural pass above.
Yeah. The marketable plush. Marketable plush iguana. It me. It me.
Aside from living in a volcano instead of the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bucket's right. That is a lot of the world monsters in a nutshell. Simple design, very interesting personality. Which works.
It does. It works for monsters.
Now we hit the creature that I believe is the skull that Shen wears. From Monster Hunter 1, and has not been seen since. The Lao Shen Lung, I think is how you pronounce it.
Lao Shen Long?
Lao Shen Lung, yeah.
This
is a big no-wing dragon.
Yeah, like that's the first thing that I like notice about it is like it's a big ass fucking dragon with no wings.
And it's like big. It's one of the first big like siege fights.
Yeah, like it is very like traditional like Western fantasy dragon esque, but without the wings.
Yeah.
Which is
I like
interesting.
the extra spikes that it gets.
Yeah. Its neck is angled a little weird in that.
Yeah, again, because this guy was only in Monster Hunter 1, I only really have the one render to work with.
Yeah,
so.
the unfortunate thing of monsters that haven't appeared since, they don't have, like, these very crisp renders.
Yeah, and I didn't want to try and grab some, like, mid-quality screenshot of the PS1 era game.
Good 360p. Good 360p quality. Crispy.
Honestly, this guy kind of loses to the dude that's wearing his skull for a jacket. To me.
I think it's fair to put the thing that's wearing its skull above. I think that works in the hierarchy.
Hilariously, I think it's not that Shen Gaoren like hunts these things; it's just finds the dead bodies and just puts the skull on its back.
It's like a hermit crab. It just finds
that's
it.
That's honestly what all of the crabs in the game are. Various hermit crabs.
But yeah, no, I think it would be fair to put it like right below, honestly.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I'd say he beats out the monkeys, because like, while the monkeys are definitely doing a lot more design-wise, he is a very solid quadrupedal no-wing.
Yeah, like honestly, like I think it gets bonus points from me for having no wings. Because it's like with all of these other dragons, even like Diablos having wings, seeing a monster that just is a dragon, clearly a dragon, doesn't have wings.
Another case of bad render, who dis? Or bad render but no other choice. The Ashen Lao Shenlong.
Which is the same, but pale.
But like, ashy gray, I guess?
Yeah. Like,
this is the only render and we can't see its back, so yeah, I don't know for sure.
This one, at the very least, does a better job of showing, like, the scale. Because, like, this one, it looks big.
The size of it. Yeah.
Because, like, you can tell they've, like, kind of obscured its head, where it's like, okay, it's just high enough that there's, like, a little layer of, like, fog obscuring your view.
So would you put gray above brownish orange or below?
I would actually kind of put it below.
I'll take that.
I like the coloration a little bit better. Yeah, like very simple, not a bad thing.
No.
Neat dragon.
I think we found another gem, by the way.
Is it what I think it is?
Mizutsune.
Yes.
Mizutsune.
Yep.
This is just a fantastic design.
Another one of my favorite monsters.
A water monster that fights with soap.
Yep.
Effectively.
And
it's so good.
It's pretty. It's just such a pretty monster.
It has like a slight iridescence in the scales. It has the soap effect. And yes, that is true. All the Mizutsune you fight are the males.
I also really like how they just seem to kind of just be chill for the most part.
More or less.
They're just kind of like, they're vibing. They're in their lane. For the most part.
I love that they have that, like, thick bit of fur that acts as a big, like, scrub brush, effectively.
Yes, like, they actually have that combination of fur and scales. Like, it's neat.
And, like, almost like koi fins, in a way.
Yes.
Like you were saying with one of the ones earlier with the Amatsu.
Yep, the really, like, almost like pearlescent scales. They shimmer. It looks almost looks flowery.
It really does. I mean, its name is literally a combination of Mizu, which is like water or ocean or pool or whatever, and Kitsune, or fox.
Yep.
Like, it's exactly what it says on the tin, and it's a fantastically designed creature.
And it moves so smoothly.
Oh, the fact that it, like, slides with its soap is fantastic. Especially in Rise, where it actually will, actually slide as it's doing certain attacks. And that is a good point, Bucket. Why is... I think it's because they don't show up on the same map together?
Maybe.
I don't remember ever seeing a Mizu on the desert map, and I don't think Almudron really shows up anywhere else.
Would have been really funny, though.
That would have been funny, too, yeah. And just see that one little bit of... Oh,
No.
do they?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they can both show up on the Flitter Forest. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. Absolutely, Mizu goes up in the gyms. Very easy for me.
Where do I want to put it though? Is the only question. Because I love it so much, but I love it for different reasons than my electric voice.
I want to hear like where you're thinking first.
Why are you making me say it? I would probably put him between the Lagiacrus and the Zenobra.
You know what? That's kind of where I was thinking. I'm gonna be honest. That is actually kind of where I was thinking.
Yeah, not that that's a mark against the Zenogre, it's just the Mizu is such a cool design creature.
Mizu pretty.
The only reason
pretty.
the Laggies, like, personal favorite is what's keeping the Laggies above Mizu, honestly.
Like, they are to Squid what Namiel is to me. Like, that very top tier, that's all literally, that's bias. The whole top tier is bias.
Yep.
Everything else is less
bias.
Everything at the top is totally biased.
So, we have Mizu, but what about this deviant form it got in Generations Ultimate? The Soul Seer Mizutsune.
What the fuck?
Only render it had. I don't know this thing's deal. It's got interesting, more coloration to it.
It does have like little more like, I would say like a little more like almost aggressive coloring. Although like I really can't tell a whole lot.
Only render.
Yep, that's the unfortunate thing. It looks like it's got like a little bit of like electricity or something coming off of its head. It got firepower somehow.
Yeah.
It's fire. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a blue sort of like spectrally fire coming from one of its eyes.
That's interesting.
Soul Seer.
I'm gonna be honest though, I don't know if I'd put it above regular Mizu.
Honestly, I might put this one below the Zenogres because I kind of don't like the brighter colors in a way.
Yeah, I could kind of agree with that actually.
Like I'm looking, like they look good. Don't get me wrong, but
I don't think it works for the monster as well.
Yeah, it's almost a little like the iridescent just worked so well for regular Mizu.
Yeah, like
taking some of that away for more color kind of feels like a detriment to me.
Yeah. Like the color palette on regular Mizu kind of like flows with the bubbles and everything a little bit better. But yeah, I would agree with that.
Actually, I might be willing to bump this guy down to Masterpiece. Because it's still really good, but I don't know if I'd personally call it a favorite.
That's fair. You know what? I can agree with you on that, actually.
You want to put him up? Where do you want to put him in Masterpiece?
I would say like just below Rachna.
Just below? Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Because Rachna works very well with the recolor.
Now we have one of the absolute most recent monsters added to the game. Because this didn't come out in base Sunbreak, this came out in one of the DLC patches. Or not DLC patches, but just content patches for Sunbreak.
Stairs?
The Violet Mizutsune. Now this, honestly... This is a good rival for the base Mizu color palette, in my opinion.
This one's going above for me.
Yeah. Like, it's not just that I'm a sucker for purple, I am.
This is a good purple. Like...
It's not an overdone purple.
Like,
and yes, actually, I think hilariously this is a blast monster.
You know...
Mizu turned from water/soap into blast.
And of course it's purple. You know, purple? What is it with purple explosions?
I don't know. But just the deepness of the purple combined with still that pale silver to the rest of the scales is so pretty.
It's really good. I love
Instead
this.
Of, according to Wilson, instead of secreting soap, it secretes oil that then ignites.
I love it. Yeah, this definitely goes above.
This guy absolutely beats the regular music.
Yeah. That's just
like
pretty.
that. That's a gorgeous color palette.
It really is.
Now, backing up
see
to
it.
Worlds.
I see
We
it.
have Nergigante.
Fucking a spiky boy.
Spiky ass motherfucker.
Fucking spikes everywhere.
He does look cool, and I do like that his design helped push their tech. Considering they said that they'd been wanting to do something like the real growing spines that Nergigante can do for a while, but it wasn't until World where the consoles actually had the power to really do that.
Yeah.
So I can definitely respect him for that. Personally, I'm only wanting to put him in the lower end of the high scoring tier because he's a little overdone in my opinion. He's just got so much going on.
I can honestly kind of agree. It's cool. It's a cool monster.
And to be fair, the notion of an elder dragon that explicitly hunts and eats the other elder dragons is really cool. But it feels like they kind of needed to tone his design.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he probably... Actually, no, I think he could probably clear the crab.
I think that's fair. I think that is a very fair spot. 'Cause like you said,
But
it's just
yeah,
overall for me is a little just too edgy.
it's too edgy, and again, it's just there's so much going on. There's the spikes, there's the regrowing, there's the colors, there's the demeanor, there's
A little much at once.
yeah, he got a little too much going on. And I did not include Ruiner Nergigante because
It's the same
it was
thing.
really hard to tell the difference between Nergigante and Ruiner Nergigante at the visual level. So
They're kind of the same, except Ruiner's just a little more aggro.
and just again, considering we're not factoring in fights,
Yeah.
because they just looked so similar, it was like, you can kind of sit this out.
Otherwise, we
Yeah,
would
yeah.
literally be here forever.
And if the spikes are metal, that's cool, but I'm just saying, render-wise, Wilson, they looked so close.
Yeah.
Like, on the still render, I'm sure in-game they look significantly different, but render-wise, it was really hard for me to tell the difference.
Yeah. Even in-game, it was kind of hard for me to tell the difference between the two.
Also, to be fair, I imagine Ruiner would probably just sit right near his regular.
That's kind of the other reason why we condensed a few of these, because we were we're probably gonna put a lot of these right next to each other,
And that's kind of why
it's kind of what's happened.
And that's kind of why I left out all of the apexes from base game Rise, because they looked like just the regular monster, but a shade or two darker. So it's oh, do you like Rathian green or Rathian but darker green? It's just they were so close. It was meh. I already have over 200 others. We can afford to cut a few.
Yeah, it was part of the big list of criteria we went through to cut this down, because there's so many monsters.
We say big list of criteria, and ultimately at the end of it, I still think I only cut 7.
Yeah, and we literally ended up cutting all of the small monsters because it's there was no way.
And this doesn't even include anything from Frontier, their MMO.
Yeah.
So
This is insane. how many monsters there are in just the mainline games.
Mm-hmm. Now, Somnicanth.
It's a funky design.
It's a really funky design. I like it as a Leviathan that moves significantly different from other Leviathans.
Yeah.
I do love how really flowy those two big head fins are.
It's such a like interesting look.
It's a siren.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a siren with some weird otter-like tendencies.
And kind of like those like statues of koi. It's kind of what its like face looks like.
Yeah. That weird like
Really,
not
like,
quite human, but just like flattened almost.
yeah, the really exaggerated like koi statue. Which is kind of interesting.
Like Bucket said, like it has some good points, but it's also not standing out too much to me.
Yeah,
as much as I do enjoy it.
It really like it doesn't like stick in your memory. Like
not particularly.
It's unique enough that it stands out, but not enough that it like sticks with you.
Like when you look at the list of Leviathans, Somnicanth stands out against the other Leviathans, but otherwise it's not. It stands out against other Leviathans, but other Leviathans are more memorable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can also agree with that. Okay. It does suffer a little bit from the simpler lighting engine on the Switch, but yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily know if it's either at the tail end of high or. I would probably put it above the Durambros, though.
Honestly, I think that would be a fair spot. I think that'd be great. Yeah, I think that'd be a fair spot.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Now, its subspecies that was introduced in Sunbreak, the Aurora Somnicanth.
That, I think, is a better color palette.
That is a better color palette, but again, I don't know if I'm really going to put it much higher than like the base one is.
No, I think I would put it just like maybe a smidge better than the base one. So probably like the still in the low but good, but just like a little bit, just edging out the regular one just a tiny bit.
As much of a sucker for purple as I am, on a creature like this, that like fading blue does look so much better.
Like this honestly, it looks more like a yokai.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes.
And I think
it changes from sleep to ice, I believe. Which I know Aurora is ice. I just can't quite remember exactly what base Somna is. I'm pretty sure it's sleep, hence the name Somna.
Yeah.
And honestly, for a subspecies name, calling it the Aurora Somnicanth is really cool.
Yeah, it works. Like
especially given how flowy and wavy its fins are. Yeah. So
it's very fitting.
Yeah. Lots of props, just and again, the only bad tier is the bottom tier, the absolute bottom tier,
the phallus tier. This monster is just a dick, literally.
Speaking of a dick in the metaphorical sense,
fuck that thing.
Lavazioth.
Throw that, put that thing back where it came from. So
You don't like the magma fish, do you?
I fucking hate this fish. This one I have extensive experience with, but also fuck this fish.
It's hilarious that this thing is called Lavazioth. And honestly, it looks more closely related to the Gyrototus family.
Yes. Yes, it does. This thing right here, though. Fuck it. Throw that thing back.
Design-wise, in its defense, a lava fish is really fucking cool.
A lava fish is cool. However,
I can't in good conscience place it higher than the Gyarados.
No.
If at most directly above Gyro.
Like, design. Hello, welcome in.
Hey,
Hello.
Welcome, Moody. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, welcome. Anybody that's new here, hello.
Just happy to be
My
here.
name's Danny. I'm your local Eldritch Void Cat, and I'm here with Squid talking about Monster Hunter. How was your stream? Hope you had a good stream.
We are ranking monsters based on how much we like their aesthetic and their design.
Peace, and right now we're on
We're on this thing.
this fish. Silly foot, I love that. That's cute.
The Angie lava fish.
He's the welcome. Maybe the rule that says you gotta do this. Oh, do I have to oh, I'm gonna have to reset that, aren't I?
Oh, your redeems are broken.
My redeem's broke!
Yeah, we had
Hold
some
on.
technical difficulties earlier that broke stuff. Sorry.
Hold on, give me a second. I'll get that one for you, Nia. Give me a second. I got you. Where's it at? Hold on. I can do a better one. I got you.
Oh, thank you so much, Fiddler.
Ah, thank you. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, welcome in. Get cozy and laugh along with us as we very objectively TM rank monsters.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna like... I might blip out of existence for a moment while I reset this. Boop. Cause I gotta like restart it. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. But yeah, we can talk about that.
If you're curious about the icon color bucket, according to my notes, Lavazioth mirrored in the mainline games in... let me just double check my key. Freedom Unite, which is basically the ultimate version for the second generation games. So it probably looked a little bit different, and or that's just color palette limitations. I don't know. I just picked it because I could.
It works.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Now I can reappear. Got a raid run? Yeah, all good. Get some good rest, get something to drink, something to eat, whatever you need to do. I really appreciate the raid. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, it's all
Thank
good.
you so much for the raid.
Yeah. There we go. That it should be functioning now.
Would you put lava above or below Jura?
I'd put it below, honestly.
That's not your personal biases talking.
It's not my personal bias. Thank you for the head nod. Thank you.
You know what? Fair.
I just think like the design of Gyarados I think is just a tiny bit better.
Yeah. I think the thing with Lavazioth is, while I do like the lava look, there are other monsters that do the lava look better.
Yes. It's a ranking video. It's personal bias.
All right, we have Tobi Kadachi.
Funny little.
I know Tails blurry. This was better of the two.
squirrel.
This is the better of the two renders. I mean, this one's solid.
It is. I like it.
It's a snake flying squirrel.
Electrified snake squirrel.
I'd put him higher end of high rank, or high scoring at the very least.
I can agree with that.
And yeah, Bucket is right. This thing actually has something that most of the other monsters can't do. It's kind of cute. When it's not fighting you, it's very cute.
Yeah, it just kind of like, it's just kind of there.
Just
Just
hangs
chilling.
out.
I kind of appreciate it.
No. Bystander, Vex is a very different monster that's probably not going to be until the next part of the stream, but... Where do you want to put Toby up in here? Below the Wraths?
I think that's fair, actually.
Does it beat the Magma Almudron?
You know what? I would actually say so. I think I want to put it there because I do appreciate its design.
Yeah, I'll take that. Then we have its subspecies. So I find the file. And actually get it properly sized, it'll show up on screen. The Viper Tobikadachi.
Yeah. Burnt orange.
I don't know if I like the burnt orange more than the pale silver or not.
I'm gonna help you out here. I think the pale silver's better.
It is, but that is such a good shade of orange, though. Like, you have to admit.
Yes, the one thing that I will say that I like a lot about Viper is its underbelly.
Yes.
I think its underbelly is a little bit better.
And concept of it being poison para, like Bucka reminded, is really good. It's really cool.
It's a very interesting monster. I do like it.
I think the best thing I can say about it is, while its color palette does lose very slightly to the base, it is one of those where both color palettes work exceptionally well for this shape of monster.
Exactly.
Like, both of those feel like believable color palettes.
Yep. I would agree with that.
Now, Danny, are you ready?
Is it time for crab?
It is time for more crab.
More crab. Thank you for the hydrate.
Thank you. We have the Daimyo Hermitor.
That is a funky looking crab.
And it is wearing the skull of a Monoblos as its shell, which is a monster we haven't seen yet, but we will see at some point.
That is a very angry looking crab.
It is very angry crab. And all of its noises are like watery gurgles and hisses, like you would expect a big crab to make.
You know what?
I kind of adore all the crabs just for the hilarity of them being crabs.
That's kind of where I'm sitting, and
this is Vilwin, no steppies.
I want to say this.
Yeah.
There is a part of me that kind of feels like the crabs also are kind of like gonna end up in very similar places.
Middle of high scoring for you?
Yeah.
Now, I have two questions for you, Danny.
Yes.
What if I told you that one of its attacks is it shooting a pressurized beam of water out of its mouth? And another one of its attacks, among others, is it basically putting both of its claws in front of its face and just giving a little flick to try and push you away.
My god.
It will also swipe, and it actually burrows, hilariously enough. That's actually one of its bigger attacks. It'll burrow and it'll try to gore you on the horn of its shell a couple of times before it comes back up. It's a mean crab. Oh yeah, and Buck is right. It doesn't just shoot a water beam, it fires it and then it starts walking sideways, because crab.
It's crab. Oh. I'm just sitting here, like, trying to, like, piece in my mind if I like this crab design more than the funky spider crab.
I mean, the spider crab has a lot of, like, novelty going on for it, but I don't know, this guy just ranks higher for me for some reason.
I'm kind of feeling that too, just because, like, it looks more...
I think the thing
There's
is
more
that
to
this guy's also much more recognizable as a crab.
Yeah, like, this you can tell, like, right away that, like, yeah, this is a crab. The spider crab, like, took a little second to be like, oh yeah, no, that's a spider crab. Yeah, no, I think I'd put this, like, probably just above Shin.
Oh, really? I was gonna put him. I mean, maybe this is just my own, again, personal biases, but I was gonna kind of put it maybe above Tidal Najarala.
You know, no, that's fair. Actually, no, I can agree with that.
And it's just, he's just funny.
It's a goofy little crab.
It's the big angry crab that like hiss gurgles. Oh, and you actually can break his shell, like the skull that he's using as a shell, and after a while he will get a new one. Either another
That's funny.
skull, a generic skull, or a rock.
That's really funny.
And yes, Bucket is right. Part of my soft spot might be that one of my assignments in my last semester of high school was helping the science teacher take care of a tank, and in the tank were crabs, and they were adorable and assholes and constantly trying to get out.
Oh.
Now, what about crab? But purple.
Purple crab.
And this one is using a Diabolus' skull for a shell instead of a Monobolus'.
You know, I think it gets bonus points for the Diablo skull.
To be fair, Monobolus is, not to spoil too much about it, Monobolus is very much Diabolus' brother, effectively. So wearing the skull of either is quite a flex.
Yeah.
But do you like the crab when it is red and reddish pink, or do you like it when it's purple? Or as the name says, plum.
Plum.
The plum daimyo hermitor.
They're very like, they're almost like the same. Like, they're very similar. I would kind of like probably put this one a little bit higher.
Bucket is right. The armor you forge out of this thing is American football gear.
That's so goofy. That's so fucking funny.
The crabs are just funny creatures, and I think that's part of why I love them so much.
Yeah.
Like, they're not inherently funny like the Yonkukus. Yeah, Yonkukus are. But they're just... It's hard not to laugh at how funny a big crab is.
It's true. Honestly, they are just kind of like goofy, like large. They're goofy when they're large.
Also, the big whiskers are just hilarious. Big antenna whiskers.
Yeah. But like this one, I would just put just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit like above.
So it beats the regular.
Yeah.
Now we have It's Deviant. We have had Crab. We have had Purple Crab. Now we have Fiddler Crab.
I love that, actually.
The Stone Fist Hermitor. Which is honestly so much more badass of a name.
That also, like, design-wise, I like that. Like, that's cool.
Like, don't get me wrong, Daimyo Hermitor is really cool as well, but something about Stone Fist just sounds awesome.
Like, this one, like, no joke, looks like it has a sword and shield with its claws.
I love the asymmetric claws.
Yeah.
It looks really good on this thing. And it's kind of the best of both worlds. It's reddish pink and purple.
Yeah. There's a part of me that kind of wants to put this one a little higher.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that. Nothing says we have to keep the monsters grouped together.
Yeah. I actually...
Does he go into Masterpiece? Do you want to put him in Masterpiece or not? Because I'm okay with either.
Honestly, I think... Yeah, you know what? I think I would be fine putting this at, like, toward, like, the bottom of Master.
Like, I don't necessarily think he beats Ebony.
Yeah, no. I don't think so either, but...
But when it comes to the crabs... This is just a really solid design. This is so good.
Yeah, I'll put that, like... I would agree that it goes up there.
And yeah, subspecies, variants, whatever, are grouped with the base species, and they are put, and within that they are put in introduction order. But otherwise, the exact order of the list has been randomized.
Yeah.
And I did that just so that we didn't have like Daimyo an hour ago and then came back to this thing. And I was like, oh yeah, what did we say about the Daimyo? It just kept that same creature together for the sake of the conversation.
We've learned a lot from the Yu-Gi-Oh list.
Uh-huh. The Great Gyros.
Snake.
It's
Small. Snake.
Snake lizard thing.
Snecko.
I mean, this thing's kind of in the same boat as the Somnicanth for me, where it's like, I have nothing bad to say about its design, but I also don't have much to say good. And yeah, the render's not doing it any favors.
Yeah, like, its pattern is its most defining feature.
And the render is a low angle rather than showing it.
Yeah, it's okay. I think that's kind of where I put it.
And like, honestly, even factoring in the pattern, like, again, nothing outstanding to say, but also nothing bad to say.
Yeah, like, actually...
Gyros is just... He's cool. He's fine.
I think I would put it just below Somnicants.
Below Somnicants?
I think that's where I'd put it. I feel like that's a fair spot.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Yeah, because, like...
Great monster. It's one of those very simple, early... Well, not early, because it's in the Rotten Vale.
It's an intro to an area monster.
That's it.
Yeah. One of the first things you really hunt.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the Kirin?
Design-wise, pretty fucking cool.
Hard to disagree.
Fight-wise...
I hate fighting it.
I was about to say, fight-wise, fucking tempered.
This
was hell.
Is miserable.
Tempered Kirin is hell.
Regular Kirin is hell. It's so fast and it's so fucking small.
Tempered Kirin, where you will be just within eyesight of it and struck down by fucking goddamn Zeus himself for existing. Oh god. That being said, really pretty.
Very pretty.
It's a unicorn with snake skin.
I don't know if I'd put Masterpiece, though.
No. I would put it in high.
High.
Yeah, I would definitely put it in high. I might put it just...
Yeah.
I think, like, for me, I would probably put it, like, just above, like, Odo, honestly.
I would have put it after the Rathians, personally.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think after the Rathian, but before the Tobis.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That's the thing, is it's another solid design, but I just like the Rathians more. The Rathians just feel like they have a little bit more going on in their solid, simple design.
That's fair.
Which I appreciate.
I see the other one.
Yes, we have had shiny white electric Kirin. But what are your thoughts on the dark black ice Orochi Kirin?
I actually love this one. I'm not gonna lie.
We are such suckers for the darker colors.
It's a combination of the fact that it's like that dark purple, and also that
almost
like
black.
Really like crystalline pink horn. Like, yeah, you can see its coat so much better.
I still don't know if I would say Masterpiece, but I would definitely... This one I will allow to be higher than this.
Yeah, this one
I will agree is higher than this.
Yeah, this one will go up high and high.
I don't think it beats Dodo.
Dodo is just too precious.
Dodo is too precious.
That design for Kirin, though, is really cool.
And we've hit a set of monsters that I love. I might put them up in gems. I don't know. Gems or personally maybe masterpiece? But I need to hear your thoughts. We have the Uragon.
The big chin.
The big-chinned metal-backed monster. The big-chinned metal-backed roly-poly. I mean, I love this guy just because of how goofy he is.
He's fucking goofy, and honestly...
He's very much like Dodo, where he just wants to eat rocks. He just wants to roll around and eat rocks.
I also love the fact that when they're, like, toppled over, you can mine them. That's extra, like, funny.
Now, I do really love the Uragons. Again, I don't know if I want to put them in gems, just because I have so many that I absolutely do know want to be in gems.
That's fair, because I have some that I will do that too. Just because I adore them. I think what we should do, like, for the gems is, like, we can, like, override and be like, yes, this is one of my favorite monsters that goes up here.
Yeah. I mean, we need to be careful
that's what that tier is for. I think both of us have a fair few favorite monsters.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is, again, the Uragons are one of my favorites. They're one of my earliest favorites because they came from 3. Design-wise, so many of my other favorites do so much more and so much better with their designs compared to the Uragon that I can't really put him up in gems. IMO.
I think it's fair.
I love him, don't get me wrong, but I have so many other favorites.
They are, honestly, it's a very solid monster.
And it's fun having something that rolls like he does.
Yep, it's one of the things that adds to the fact that, like, it's memorable. Like, you encounter it, you don't forget it. And I do think that deserves to be very high up on the list.
Would you put him in Masterpiece?
I think it would be fair. Like, Diablos is up there, and Diablos is very memorable in the same fashion. So it's like, I think it's honestly very fair.
And honestly, to be fair, Uragon does have a lot of very unique traits to him that does make him super memorable, like you're saying. Like Bucket was saying, the fact that a lot of his attacks are chin slams, the fact that he rolls around by curling up.
Yep.
He's got the cool, like, metal crystals down his back. Uragon is honestly a very solidly designed monster.
Yeah. And it's just something that's, like, so unique that you remember it.
Now, where in Masterpiece do you want to put him?
Now that's where it gets a little hard.
Yeah. I don't know if I would put him higher than the Valhazak. Higher than the Valhazak. Somewhere below that.
Yeah. Like, there is a part of me that's feeling like it would probably be fair to put it, like, in a similar spot with Diablos.
I think, and this might sound crazy, I think I put him above Diablos.
I was that's kind of actually where I was thinking, like, in between Diablos and Black Diablos.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Like, right in the middle.
It's not that there's anything wrong with Diablos' design, it's that there's so many unique qualities to Uragon that he gets bonus points.
Yeah, they're kind of like, they're very close. They're very similar.
They are very close. Diablos ranks so high because he's a very simple, incredibly well executed design. Uragon ranks so high because he has so many unique qualities that work together for him.
Yeah. At least. I love that you hit with both of those. Thank you for the hydrate and the head pat.
Yeah. Moving on from the Uragon to its first subspecies. I need to resize this a little bit. Steel Uragon.
Ooh, I like that little like, that slight gradient pearlescent
The colors
color.
are really good. Now, I do want to specify, and honestly, this should not be factored in on our rankings. Steel Uragon placed dead last on the Monster Hunter's official popularity list. But that is a popularity thing, not a design thing.
Yes.
And personally, I think it's partly because I think Steel Uragon has only ever been in 3 Ultimate, I want to say. Maybe 4 Ultimate? I can't remember. But he's not been around a lot. And Uragon itself is also fairly rare to spot, so... I'd almost argue that's more a fact of it just
Not
people
being...
remembering other stuff more than him being bad.
I think that's like what happened to a lot of things in that list, is like there's so many that only appeared in like 1 or 2 games that like just like not enough people have experiences with them, so it's like yeah.
But it's kind of reflective of my thoughts on like the Duramboses.
Yeah.
Where I personally think they could be very good fights if they're retooled a little bit, and especially now with the better controls and the better mobility and all of that. They just had really craptastic introductions.
Yeah.
Which really heavily skewed a lot of people's opinions on them. Anyway, back to Steel here, you're right. I do love the colors on this guy a lot more than the regular Uragon.
Yep.
That's sort of like that like heat-treated effect to metal, you know?
Yeah. It's like, I
Like,
love that little
burned
gradient.
metal, I guess is how you call it.
I love that little gradient color.
Would you put him above regular Uragon?
I would. I think I would, yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah, I checked. It was introduced in Portable 3rd, and last mainline game was 3 Ultimate. Yeah, this guy has not been seen for a long time.
That would do it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd put him above regular Uragon. Just for the color palette alone, just because that burned metal coloration is so cool.
It's very
There's
good.
so few opportunities to use it when most of your things are creatures.
It's really true.
And moving on from Steel, the Uragon also got a deviant in the Generation games. With the wonderfully named Crystal Beard Uragon.
So I see that it's like a more intense, like orange color.
It's a lot more of a saturated orange, yeah. And honestly, I like the addition of the crystals in the head, in the chin, and the tail.
It's so neat.
It's also, I'm just gonna say it, Crystal Beard sounds like a pirate's title.
Kind of does, yeah.
But no, honestly, like the addition of crystals on this metal monster, I love. I'm super stoked for that.
I like it. I vibe with those crystals, like just the sheer like variance between the deep like orange and that light, almost like a lavender purple. That's pretty nice.
I kind of want to put him above Black Diablos, honestly.
I can agree with that, actually. I can go with that.
Not above Val.
Yeah, not above Val,
but above Black. Above
Yeah.
Black Diablos. Just, you're, like, those two colors don't look like they'd work together, but it really works together for you.
it looks good on Uragon.
Yeah. Now we have tiny little guy. The Great Izuchi.
Fuzzy raptor with scythe tail.
I like that this guy is a little bit more like Weasel Raptor in a way.
Yeah.
And yeah, the extra claw on the end of the tail. Actually, yeah, no, Weasel is right, because Weasel makes sense, because Bucket is correct. The yokai this thing is based on is the Kamaitachi, which is basically Sickle Weasel.
It makes sense. I can see it.
No, I mean, like most of the greats, not a lot to really say, but also nothing bad to say.
Yeah, like it's solid. It's a
Honestly,
solid.
of most of the greats, I kind of like this guy's color palette a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like the softer orange and white
No,
with
it
with
works.
the blue for the claws. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Very solid design.
Did you put him top of low but good?
I think I
Or
would
maybe,
actually.
because I don't know if he really gets into high score.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of the greats are going to get into high score.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at as well. I'm like, they're solid, but they're not like
Mm-hmm.
really grab you.
Yeah. Now, hilariously, from the very first thing you fight in Rise to technically the very last thing you fight in Sunbreak. In a way, story-wise. Sort of, kind of, not really. We have the Elder Dragon, Malzeno.
Oh, that's a really cool dragon.
So you remember what I said about Garngolm being based on Frankenstein's monster?
Mm-hmm.
This guy is another one of the big three. And it is vampires.
That's really good, honestly.
It is a sick-looking vampire dragon. I am not gonna lie.
Yeah, like this pretty fitting. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, Danny,
Yeah.
it can teleport. It teleports like the vampire fights in Castlevania a little bit.
Also, can I just say the fact that I love that the tips of its wings are very much bat-like.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that little extra detail.
And, yeah, folks in the chat are right. This thing is very much Dracula the Dragon. And that like, fur down the front of its neck is supposed to look like a cravat on old suits.
Yep.
This guy is so... Like, Malzeno is just one of the sleekest Elder Dragon designs. It's so good.
That's so good. Yeah?
You gonna... Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
If you want to remember what an ascot looks like, Bucket, think of the little orange neck thingy that Fred from Scooby-Doo
I
wears.
was just about to say, it's literally Fred. Scooby-Doo.
It's like a tiny scarf.
Yeah. It's... Well, it's kind of like a medium-length scarf that's like tucked into the shirt,
Yeah,
usually.
Yeah. I'm almost wanting to ask Danny, is this becoming a gem for you?
It might be, honestly, because that's...
Like, look, I'm just gonna say it. If he's not a gem, highest levels of Masterpiece rank. Like, honestly, I think this might be one of the few things that can beat Black Veil.
yeah, like, I think this is a very easy, like, top of Masterpiece.
Not quite into gem, though?
I really like this, though. The problem
You can
is...
stick it in if you want.
The problem is, there's gonna be so much stuff in gems. There's gonna be so much stuff in gems.
Is this guy kind of getting the same Urgon thing? A little bit? Where it's such a really good design that you want to put it in gems, but you know so many other things are already going to be in gems.
Yes. It's definitely, at least for now, I'd say put it like the top of Masterpiece.
Yeah, that
that's
is valid.
Perfect. That's really good.
And again, like, it is Dracula the Dragon, and they did such a good job pulling off that elegance to it.
They did. Also,
now, these are going to be spoilers for the absolute late game end part of the story of Sunbreak. The reason Malzeno looks like this is it is controlling these creatures called Quirio, which are basically little, like, life energy eating leeches.
Yes.
Malzeno is doing so to keep the threat that they pose under control. And it only looks like this because it is controlling them. Malzeno normally is supposed to look like... the fucking file go. Supposed to look like this. The primordial Malzeno.
It's a big white dragon.
Yeah, it is a holy night dragon that basically got corrupted into becoming a vampire.
You know?
Which is sick as shit, honestly.
It is. I do have to say, though, I don't think it looks as good.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's it's definitely kind of like a step down.
Like, Primordial Malzeno still looks amazing. Absolutely looks amazing. But it does kind of lose out to base Malzeno.
Yeah, like, almost, like, both of these designs look so, like, different for Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Primordial is basically, like Wilson said, is Dracula in terms of the skilled fighter and powerful and noble regal lord and all of that before becoming corrupted by the vampirism. Which is still really cool. I love that they based monsters off of, fiction creatures.
It's such
like
a great,
Dracula.
like, concept to work around.
And honestly, likewise, the silver and gold accents, it works. It's just regular Malzeno. He just looks so much cooler.
Yeah, it's like the vampire thing just is so much cooler.
I kind of stuck him up there already. Would you say Primordial beats Black Veil or no?
I think that's fair.
I can agree with that. It's close, but just let me bring it back.
It just does not have that
It,
pizzazz.
it's got that nobility to it. And actually, I also think, also minor spoiler-wise in the game, when he's, for lack of better terms, sane like this, Primordial is actually benevolent. It's friendly. It was like an ancient protector of the kingdom. And part of its fall into being regular Malzeno with the whole vampire aesthetic is it trying to protect the kingdom. Which is honestly really kind of cool that we actually have a noble, friendly Elder Dragon for once.
Yeah. That is a cool concept.
There's a point in the fight where the Query will come in and he looks even cooler than base. If that's so, there's unfortunately no render for that form.
That's probably like.
But story-wise, I love the Malzenos. They're so good. It's just design-wise, regular Malzeno just wins.
Yeah.
It's got that extra bit of just vampire elegance to it that is really hard to top. Moving on from those, Barioth.
Saber-tooth tiger dragon.
Honestly, bottom of high scoring or top of low but good for me.
I think bottom of high is fine for me. I'm gonna be honest.
Like he's got a really cool design, don't get me wrong.
It's just,
but I don't have any memorable fights with him.
Yeah.
I don't have many memorable experiences with him.
It's kind of the thing with like Monster Hunter, there are so many monsters. And there are even like some really memorable monsters that have very simplistic designs. But there's also a lot that have very simplistic designs that just kind of don't really stand out a whole lot.
Like it's very much like a lot of the stuff that's kind of gravitating towards that area of the tier list. We have nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah.
But
like literally there are very few bad monsters.
Honestly, that's almost a mark I'd give against Barioth in a way, is that if you're making a saber-toothed tiger into a dragon, it should be a little bit more memorable than what Barioth turned out to be.
Yeah. Like, nothing against Barioth at all.
No,
Barioth is a fine monster. It's just not really enough to stand
Below
out.
the gravies?
Yeah. I think that's fine.
Okay. Now, What if Burioth, but
Oh, is it
desert?
desert bear? See, that
Sand
coloration. See, now that coloration sticks out just a little bit more.
Only appeared in Portable 3 and 3 Ultimate, and it's not been seen since.
Oh yeah, another.
Hence, hence why this dude looks a little,
I mean, the model's a little dated.
more polygonal.
Yeah, it's a little dated, but
It's
just visually, it
I mean,
definitely sticks out more.
it sticks out a little bit more, yes. And it's also just like the thing with Sand Barioth is it's like, you know, regular Barioth spits out the little like ice storms. Sand Barioth just makes sandstorms.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah. Also, I do like that the tips of the wings actually do have that little like tiger stripe pattern.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's
pattern-wise, like pattern, I think sand wins. Coloration, I think regular wins.
yeah, like if the regular one had more of this like pattern,
Mhm.
it was like stood out like a little bit more like that. I think I would have like enjoyed it a little bit more, or like at least remembered it a bit better.
Mhm.
But like,
So yeah, below regular berry.
yeah, they're about the same.
Yeah. Pretty up.
They could go like
Mouse
either or.
click me. Yeah. I'll stick it below the regular.
It's like they're so close. It just literally depends on your mood at the day.
More or less, yeah. We've finished 72 monsters and it's almost normal stream end time. Do you want to keep going?
Let's
Considering
go.
tech issues or all right, let's go. Just let me know when you want to start wrapping up, okay?
Yeah.
We are a third of the way through the list.
That's perfect actually.
Yep.
We can get a little bit further. We set.
We have from Generations, the only of the 4 flagship monsters for that game to not reappear. Gammoth.
Elephant.
Big ass elephant with snow-covered feet.
Mammoth.
And yes, Bucket is right. This is basically too big for the game it was introduced in.
Love that.
Honestly, if it came out with Iceborne, it probably would have gone over better. Because you can actually like see more. But especially on a tiny little 3DS screen, you couldn't see a whole lot.
Yeah.
She might also work in Wilds.
I would.
Because typically all Gammoth are female. All the Gammoth you fight are female.
Yeah, I would love to see like monsters like this come back.
Mm-hmm.
At least like get some new models. Be nice.
I do like the blue and the red.
Yeah, like
I like the blue and the red, and I like this plated forehead on it too.
like honestly, it's not like the coloration is not something you would ever really expect to see on like a mammoth-esque monster.
But it works.
Yeah. It's like it's very subtle. It's not like super pronounced. I kind of like that.
And I also like the implication of how big they are, considering how high on their legs the snow packs as they walk through the snowdrifts.
Yeah.
Because like if this thick snow only really goes up that tall on it, it's a big monster.
Yeah. I really like this.
It's not terrible. It's just I'd say very similar to the Durambos's. Really good design. Kind of fumbled the introduction a little bit, which is probably why we haven't seen her since.
Yeah.
And also, like, I do want her back, don't get me wrong. Compared to the other three really stand out. Gammoth almost feels a tiny bit boring compared to the other 3.
That's... Yeah, no, I can see it.
I mean, she's one of the flagships for Generations, just like Mizutsune is one of the flagships for the Generations.
There might be a little bit of overshadowing there.
A little bit of a power imbalance, especially compared to the other 2, which we will hit at some point. Yeah, where do you want to put Gammoth? By the sounds of it, somewhere in high scoring.
Yeah.
I guess first question, does she pass the bouncers of Nergiganti and the Crab?
Hmm.
I'd say yes, but not by far.
I honestly, I would actually like I would just put like just after Nerd.
Just after Nerg, so she's also on the bouncer crew?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, we have Gameth, but what if we have... Let's adjust the fucking images again. I was gonna flip this joke. We have Gameth, but what if we had Frostier Gameth?
Gameth, but ice.
The Elder Frost Gameth.
See, when you add something onto it like that...
Again, the ice armor does... The packed snow on its legs was really cool. The ice armor is it's such a good look. It is such a good look. Monster Hunter always does ice armor really well.
That ice is really, like, doing a lot.
Mm-hmm. Particularly how much spikier and more dangerous it makes the trunk look.
Yeah. Like...
It's good. It's really good.
Like, that... Seeing that, like, at a distance, that sticks with you a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. If you see that from a distance trudging across the snowfields, you would be terrified.
Yeah.
Like, you would not want to go anywhere near it out in the snow.
Exactly. It's like, I'm sitting here like, okay, how much further up do I want to put this one? Because this one's definitely better.
This one's... I'd put it up there close to the Kirin. Maybe not directly adjacent to the Kirin, but close to the Kirin. Because that's a really solid improvement on the design.
I would absolutely agree with that placement.
You want maybe... Does it beat Kirin?
Honestly, I think I would put it actually above that.
I'm good. Thank you, Bucket.
I think I would, because, like, again, it's another thing that, like, kind of breaks what you would conventionally expect.
Mm-hmm. Did you say she's better than any of the Wraths?
That's kind of hard, still.
Because I'm almost tempted to put her above Green Wrath, but still below Pink Wrath. It feels like I'm bullying the Green Wrath, and I'm not. It's just, that is such a good design.
Cool.
It's teetering close to being over-designed, but not falling into it.
Yeah, like,
especially with the scraggled hair.
Yeah, it does just enough.
So bump her up just a tad?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Bring it back. Bring it back, Capcom.
Mm-hmm. It's the only one of the four that hasn't reappeared since. We have Basil Goose.
The fucking B-52.
Fucking B-52 with an attitude problem.
Basil.
Honestly, this guy goes somewhere in Masterpiece. Realistically, he goes somewhere in Masterpiece.
I think that's fair, because, like, out of all of the things that I would expect to be turned into a dragon, a pangolin was not on that list.
A pangolin fusing with a B-52 bomber. I have no idea. That's just how Bucket and I started saying it, and so that's how we say it.
I've heard, like, basil geese, basil goose,
basil juice. Yeah,
basil juice.
Basil juice is probably closer. I don't know. Sometimes I just call it basil.
Sentient B-52 from hell.
Mm-hmm. Also, it helps with just how fucking huge this guy is.
It is fucking massive.
Like, he's bigger than some Elder Dragons, and he's not an Elder Dragon.
Also, I had the misfortune of a particularly large one interrupting one of my hunts once.
Oh gosh.
That was horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if it was just a regular one, I'd be like, okay, it's big and it's being obnoxious and exploding all over the place. But no, this one was fucking huge. Even by, like, a baseball standards.
Honestly, I think this guy probably goes up somewhere around the Pyro-Arachna and the Soul Seer of Mizu.
I think that's fair.
Because, I mean, no other dragon looks like this guy. Nothing fights like him. He's got a fantastic design.
And you always remember it.
Yeah. From the very moment you're introduced to this thing, you will never forget it.
The first time you see one of those fucking exploding pine cones.
Mm-hmm. Or worse, just have this thing dive bomb you out of nowhere.
Yeah, if it fucking dive bombs you, you will never fucking forget it. It's just like a certain other thing that likes to interrupt hunts.
Mm-hmm. Does it be... I don't know where to put it, though. Maybe just below Pyre or just above Pyre?
You know, I'm actually gonna go out on a limb here and say just above Pyre.
Okay. Honestly, that's valid.
Because,
A very solid spot for him.
I believe the other one is gonna be in a very similar spot.
This one's... yes. Seething Basil.
Basil, but brighter.
Basil, but even angrier and more explosive.
Yeah, but what if purple explosions?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like, you can tell that there is, like, slight difference.
Mm-hmm. It does have slightly different colorations.
The wing tips are a little bit more, like, noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the little spikes at the back. It looks more like plane wings.
Yeah.
But, God, first encountering this thing.
Yeah. You thought Basil was bad. This guy is all of that, but 10 times worse.
It's like Basil, but what if it started out pissed off and stayed pissed off more? Planes mentioned, right? I mean, look at it, Aiko. It's like a living plane.
I'm curious where you'd put it, because I think I know where I put it. But I want to hear what you say.
I would actually... might be a surprise. I would actually probably put this one above Black Veil.
But below the Malzenos?
But below the Malzenos, just because...
That's exactly where I was going to put it. That's exactly where I would have put him.
Yep, just because I was like, it is cool. It does enough for me to put it above Black Veil, because, like, it's memorable. Its color palette's really good. Its design is really solid. It's definitely, like, it's honestly, like, one of the more, like, non-dragon looking dragons.
True. Very true. It does
It's
almost
just-
have, like, a weird, like, flat lion face, almost.
Yeah, the weird...
Like a gargoyle or something.
Yeah, that's the funny, like, pangolin bit.
Mhm.
Pangolins, by the way, are fucking...
They're adorable.
They are adorable. Armored little...
Little goofs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Seething goes there because it's everything right about the Basil's design, but with a few points that actually tip it above beating Black Veil.
Yep. And you will never forget it.
Mm-mm.
It will make sure you don't.
Speaking of another monster you will never forget, but for a very different reason, just because of how goofy this guy is. Nibble Snarf.
The fucking name alone, too.
I love this thing so much. He's such a doof.
Yes, Aiko? Yes. Yes, it is, Aiko.
Well, it's spelled like this. But its name is the Nibble Snarf. And Bucket is also right. It makes accordion noises.
It makes a
Okay.
court.
Ico, you're spamming a little bit.
Oh,
But yes, it makes accordion noises. It can open its jaw incredibly wide, and a lot of its attacks are it trying to bite you.
oh,
You're good. You're good.
cat, cat. Nibble sniff.
You will snarf. This.
It's so
I want
goofy.
this thing to come back for Wilds, just so all the new hunters who started in World can go, what the actual fuck?
It's you honestly, there needs to be at least like one monster in each game that's like you verbally just say what the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Kezu keeps coming back. Kezu is literally the what the fuck monster.
Yeah, but there's better what the fuck
There are
monsters
better
as
what the
well.
fuck monsters. One of my favorites actually is a what the fuck monster.
Hmm.
Which will
It's
show up
just-
later.
Also, the other flat Leviathan, along with Gobel.
It's so fucking funny. And honestly,
So- it doesn't help that he has the actual like adult flounder thing of both eyes being on top of his head.
yeah,
It just looks dumb as dirt.
it's so goofy looking. And honestly, I think
Yeah.
it should genuinely go in about the same like area as Go. Just
Better than Gobel or worse than Gobel?
it's definitely funnier, but I
Mhm.
don't know if that means better. It makes me giggle.
Between Gobel and Nergi?
I think that's probably a fair place.
Because, like, yeah, I think that, by the way, that is its icon. Yes.
I love that. It's just a mouth.
It's goofy, but comparatively, like, taking the goofiness away, comparing it to the Gobel, I think the Gobel is just slightly better design.
Yeah. Like
Just
Gobel's
because it does
better
merge
all
so many
around.
fish.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's just really funny.
Nibblesnarf is the thing that some of the designers came up with while drunk and they made it work. And nobody said
You know,
no.
sometimes it be like that.
Mm-hmm. We have hit our next bug monster,
Let's fucking go.
the Celtus.
It's Celtis time.
Mm-hmm.
Bug.
I like this thing.
I do
Honestly.
too.
It was kind of a bad first fight just because it was aerial, but he's not bad.
Like,
He's not too bad.
I like the coloration and the pattern on the Celtis.
The really deep green with the orangey tips.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a buzzing sound.
It's good.
It is a very like solid design.
Most of his attacks consisted of like ramming and swatting at you.
Makes
And
sense.
doesn't particularly have a ton of HP, to be honest.
I mean,
But
yeah.
it's solid. It's a good, like, for an early game large bug shaped monster. Celtis does that incredibly well.
I'm trying like real hard to figure out where I want to put the Celtis.
And yes, Bucket is right. They actually did do really well at making it animate like a big bug.
But see, details like that are cool. I respect that.
I guess first question, Danny, does Celtis pass the bouncers of High Scour for you?
I kind of want to say so because like there's really not a whole lot of bugs that are big
not, no.
monsters.
I'd be okay with that, but the creatures that are related to the Celtis should definitely go higher than Celtis in my
Oh yeah, no, like that's why I'm like, it's unique enough that I want to put it past the crab, but
Mhm.
knowing what is related to it, that definitely goes past the crab.
Yeah.
I don't think I can put it past the crab.
just below the crab, maybe?
I'd say just below the crab. I think that would be fair to put the Celtis. Because...
No. Technically, I put the relatives somewhere else on the list. I can jump to them if you want.
We'll get to them eventually.
Right. But first, we have to go with the Celtis' subspecies. The desert Celtis.
Hey, Celtis, but slightly different coloration.
Sandy yellow and with two pronged horns instead of one big one.
Yeah, it kind of looks a little more like a dragonfly.
A little bit.
And
Like mix of dragonfly and some kind of beetle, definitely.
yeah, like
it really is bucket again.
Yeah,
the
render is not helping it. Yeah, like I think coloration wise, I would probably put this one like a little bit above the regular Celtis.
I'd actually put it above the regular Celtis too, yeah, just because I like the pronged horns instead of the one big one, and the sandy yellow I think works a little bit better with the orange highlights than the green does.
Yeah, like I think it would be fair to just put that one like just above the regular Celtis.
Okay. Still good to keep going, or?
Yeah, we can keep going. I mean, we can keep going for I'd say another like 30 minutes or so. I think it'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, having subspecies related to one another just really is making the conversations go faster.
Yes, I'm actually I'm very happy how many we've managed to get through.
Especially with all the tech difficulties. Oh my gosh.
Kidding.
Magnamalo.
I feel like just upon like initial look at Magnamalo, I was like, that's kind of like a samurai aesthetic.
Yeah, that is what it is. Also, technically, there's a variant of it. I can't remember its name. I didn't include it because its render was basically just looked exactly like the Magnamalo, except with the purple glowing spirit fire. So
yeah,
it was like Ruin or Nergigante, where there is a little bit of a difference, but it was so hard to see in the renders.
Yeah, like putting them basically in the same.
They basically take up the same slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, honestly, Magnamalo, like, it's solid. It's a really good design.
Yeah,
it's a good purple.
It's
especially with the reddish underbelly and the tan highlights.
Yeah, big samurai large cat. It's pretty neat. Not something you really see a whole lot of in.
Not particularly. No. I do have to laugh how like it and the Zinogre are so front heavy.
Yeah, they're like
so just giant barrel-chested front-heavy creatures.
They just they've been hitting the protein shakes extra hard. Never been missing gym day.
Yeah, I can see that bucket, especially compared to the other creatures based on yokai. Like Magnamalo is a little too obvious.
Yeah, like I get what they were going for with this, but there's so many like plates and stuff going on here. Like, if it would have been like a few less plates or a little like slimmed down a little bit more, I think it'd been really, really cool.
Do you want to put them kind of right around Nergigante as a result then?
I think that, yeah. Honestly, I think that's a fair place.
Above or below?
I think above, because I don't like. I know it's weird to say that I feel like this is slightly less edgy.
I think, to be fair, it's not covered in spikes and dark black.
Yeah, like it's definitely like the lighter color palette. It's like helping a little bit.
Yeah. We have two goofs who I would love if they'd show up in Wilds because they're just really fucking funny. To start with, we have the Quiropecco.
That is a bird.
That is a bird that is very angry. It will try to peck at you. It can create little sparks of fire by clacking its like wing talon things together. But you want to know the Quirupecco's biggest claim to fame?
Is it the horn thing on its face?
Yes. It will make calls during the fight. These calls can either buff its stats, heal it a little bit, or it can call for another large monster on the map to come running.
Oh.
And yes, Bucket is right. The big red pouch and the flared end of the horn of its beak only happen when it's actually calling.
That's funny. Oh.
But it will call for another large monster. Any large monster on the map, basically. It can call for that to come and interrupt the fight.
That's so funny.
It is a goofball of a bird, and I would love for it to show up in Wilds just for the hilarity of it.
It would be so funny.
And yes, Bucket is right. When it's walking normally, it does strut around like a pigeon.
My god. Okay, that's goofy enough that it's memorable.
Oh gosh, yes. Oh gosh, yes. This honestly, I don't think he's gonna go too high into high scoring, but I think he beats out the other birds to pass from low.
I think so, yeah. I think it belongs in high.
I personally would kind of put him above the Graphioses, but maybe below Tsetse.
Yeah. That's fair. Honestly, that's where I was thinking. I think that's
exactly
very
by standard. That would be hilarious. Especially because that can cause turf wars, and Bucket and I were actually talking, like, what if it summons certain monsters that then get angry and attack the Quirupecco? Like, its sort of trump card move can sometimes backfire on it. How fun would that be?
God, that would be so funny. Just like summons another monster to come to, and it's like, the fuck did you call me?
Calls for help. Calls for help. Rathalos shows up. Rathalos starts kicking its ass too.
Oh no, the consequences of my actions.
Speaking of Quirupecco, subspecies Crimson Quirupecco.
Oh, that's what it looks like without the inflated bit.
Yeah. This is a little bit better look of what they actually are supposed to look like.
It looks a whole lot more like a pterodactyl.
Mm-hmm. Pterodactyl that struts around like a chicken or a pigeon.
So funny.
Honestly, the ego this thing feels like it has is hilarious because it feels like it thinks it's a big shot when it's really not.
Oh.
I would put this guy higher than Quirupecco just because I think the colors work a little bit more.
Yeah, I think this is fair. Like,
oh yeah, and when Crimson clacks its wings together, it makes sparks of electricity instead of fire.
oh, that's cool. I like that. And its coloration is like significantly more like vibrant.
It feels more tropical bird.
Which is kind of it's kind of what it is, more or less.
Really loud, annoying tropical bird.
Yeah, I would definitely put that right above.
Yeah. Now, the first monster that we've hit where I've had to create an icon for it,
Oh,
because
no.
in game its icon is only just a question mark.
We love those.
We have the giant elder dragon from the end of Monster Hunter 4U. The Gogmazios.
That's a sick monster.
Its whole body is covered and seeping with oil, and it eats gunpowder.
That's a sick monster. It's true.
It's an amazing creature. And you fight it in a big arena with like mobile cannons and artillery and stuff. It's an amazing fight.
Yeah, like this goes up there. It definitely goes up there because this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I also like that it's literally like firing a fucking laser beam out of its mouth.
Oh yeah, like a few elder dragons in this game feel like kaijus. Gogmazios is one of them.
That is just legitimately a kaiju. An oil kaiju.
Mm-hmm.
Beams.
Also, I think lore-wise, like, yeah, and I think lore-wise, like stuff, like obviously stuff gets stuck in the tar that coats its body.
Yeah,
One of which is one of the first Dragonators ever created.
that's so
Like,
cool.
ancient people tried to use a Dragonator on this thing, and it worked, but it also got stuck in it and it ran off of it. Which, again, is just... Talk about amazing fantasy creature, honestly.
Yeah, no, like this is good.
Would you put it in Masterpiece?
I think I would actually. I think this one belongs up there.
I don't know if you'd go particularly high into Masterpiece.
No, it's like it's still fairly like simplistic for an Elder Dragon, but it's good. It does what it needs to do.
What are you thinking? I just have to scroll now. Let me just grab his icon. Bring him up just to stick him there.
There's a part of me that wants to put it like right around Val.
Base Val?
Yeah.
I'll take that, yeah. Better than Val?
I think just a little bit.
I'd say better than Val.
Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit better.
Just
than
by a hair.
Yeah.
It's good for the same reason Val is good.
It's just
but
more like kaiju-like.
The fact that it is gigantic to the point you fight it in an arena.
Yeah, it earns that Elder Dragon name.
I appreciate that, Bucket. Thank you. This is okay. There's only like 3 or 4, I think, that were like... No, 2 or 3 that I had to just take their face.
Yeah, there actually like aren't a whole lot that don't have icons.
And Bystander's right. If you hit it in the back enough, you can knock the Dragonator loose and then hit it with it again.
That's funny.
It's a cool fight. Really long and really hard, but... Now, moving on from that cool guy to this little scrub. The Gaiadrome.
Oh hey, it's like the other raptor but blue.
But lighter blue and spits ice.
I
think he's going near
think
Velocidrome, honestly.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I would have put it like above though.
I think... Yeah, I think Velocidrome wins, honestly.
Yeah.
I think the color on Veloci works a little bit better.
That's what I was thinking so too.
I think this works for a creature that lives in the snow.
Yes, it does.
But...
Yeah. Well, not the same. A little less when you stub your toe.
From Giant Elder Dragon to Tiny Little Scrub Raptor, back into Elder Dragons.
That's so cool.
Because the randomizer was weird like that.
Love randomizers for this exact reason.
Me too. Chaostra.
The lion.
The Explodey Lion Dragon.
Explodey lion, which... Very good design.
Really good design.
I like... Not as much as the other one.
The fights can vary.
Yeah.
But design-wise, Chaostra is so good.
Yeah, very... Exactly like what Bucket said. Very clean, but regal.
This is a creature that would exist on a coat of arms in the Monster Hunter universe.
Also, like, the way that it carries itself while you're fighting it as well, it has that, like, regal, like, pause.
It's a king.
Yeah.
It's a king and it knows it's a king.
Like, it doesn't see you as a threat, really. The way that it fights you.
I don't know if I would... Well, it could get into Masterpiece, but I don't think it'll get particularly far in Masterpiece.
That's what I was, like, thinking is like if I wanted to go like high or low masterpiece.
Because there is a like very good, very simple, but the problem is a lot of the really high tier stuff in masterpiece is doing extra stuff on top of looking good.
Yep. Which out of a lot of them, like Teostra's not like super complicated.
Not particularly, no. It's a big red lion dragon.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of fluff around its head and a little bit of fluff on its tail, and that's
it works.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just fairly simple like quadruped dragon.
I don't think it beats Val though.
I don't think it beats Val either.
Definitely beats the Uragon, so I guess that means it goes right after Val.
Yeah, I think that's a fair place. I see the next icon now.
Like, technically these two aren't the same species, or they aren't, like, they're not a subspecies of one another, but they're close enough that I put them together. Lunastra.
I actually really like the next.
The Teostras are the males, Lunastras are the females.
And Lunastra is a completely different
Completely
approach.
harder, bitchier fight, though. Good grief.
She is a hellish fight. She has like all of the tenacity and aggression that Teostra does not have. God, her
Teostra is the regal king. Lunastra is the mad queen. That's how I describe it.
And she fucking earns that shit.
But really slick color palette.
Also, as you can
And I
probably
like blues
tell,
more than the reds, honestly.
if you look closer to, you can tell there's significantly more fur. Like, she has fur like all over.
Slightly different shaped horns too.
Yep. The head crest things, yeah.
No, I still don't think she beats Val, but she definitely beats Teo.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, no. Her fight is in fact a bitch and a half, but... Woo! Design-wise, definitely better.
It's real good. Real good. The blue fire just always looks good.
It does.
Now, we've gone through the Uragons, but what have we had? Uragon but goth.
Radobon.
Radobon.
Or as some people have referred to Radobon, Uragon but dirty. It's just covered in tar and bone.
Yep. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like it as much as the Uragons.
No. I can't do Elden Ring DLC. Sick.
It does look cool. And yeah, Buck's right. The reason you look both ways whenever you're roaming the Rotten Vale.
Yep.
It does look cool, and it is a really neat fight, very similar to Uragon.
It just doesn't hit the same.
I like the rock and the metal more than the tar and bone, honestly.
Yeah. The other thing that I like am not too much of a fan on, even though like this is completely separate from the list criteria here. I don't like how you have to like break the bones off.
Yeah. It is a little tedious.
Yeah. It's like his armor is sick though.
Well, we're not judging on armor, we're judging on aesthetic and design.
Yeah.
Really cool aesthetic, to be fair.
It is
especially because
cool.
those aren't its bones. It secretes the tar and just picks up bones as it rolls.
It's just random bones
awesome.
that it rolls over.
That are stuck to it.
Yeah. Like if we were going off of its like its base design, it would just be like
It'd just be an Uragon but covered in goo.
Yeah, and instead of metal. Remember this? Yeah.
Honestly, I almost want to downgrade this guy into high scoring compared to the Uragons.
I think that's kind of where I wanted to put it, is in like high, because it's like it's still good, but it's definitely not like up there with like
Yeah, I think I'd probably drop it between the Rockna and the Crabs.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Although, I will agree, Bucket, piercing shots was so funny against them. Your monster wither without the bones. I prefer my monsters with the bones inside, not outside.
Another monster that's shown up, although this one was actually introduced in 3, which is actually fairly impressive. Barath.
The other one with the mud mechanic.
Mm-hmm. The originator of the mud mechanic.
Yeah. Chicken wing type is a bone with some chicken on the inside. Oh god.
That'd be so funny, Bucket. And yeah, no, Barath is... he's solid. There's a reason he keeps popping up. He's a solid one.
Honestly, like,
I legit think he actually has literally been in every game since.
Yeah, like, genuinely is a very solid design and does kind of stick with you. Like, nothing like too crazy.
No. Like, just dinosaur enough to be recognizable as a dinosaur without clearly being, oh, that's a T-Rex, oh, that's a whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's T-Rex adjacent, but it more just wants to smack its head into you than bite you in half.
Did it skip for you? No. Been in most games since its appearance. There. Wait.
It's been in a lot.
It's been in a lot. For good reason.
It's solid.
Oh. Do you know what inspired Barath?
Oh?
Watching bulldozers at a construction site. Or a
yeah,
demolition
I could see
site.
it. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, Aiko, this is the guy that charges constantly.
Yeah. This is the one that makes a mud crown.
Mm-hmm. This guy definitely clears into the upper half of high score. Honestly.
Yeah. I can agree.
I think he beats Rado. I don't know if he beats Rachna.
Definitely doesn't beat Rachna.
And yeah, Bucket is also right. The little horns, or the little holes on the top of its head are its nostrils. So it can still breathe when it's submerged in mud. Also, I want to say this is another herbivore, I think.
I want to say so.
Yeah, no, you agree with between...
Anteater.
Oh, no, right, Anteater,
okay.
Right. Because that's what the whole charging thing is. He charges into the big hardened ant mouse to destroy him, and then he eats the ants.
Yeah, okay.
So right there between Rachna and Rado?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the form of Barath that I don't think has been seen since its introduction. The Jade Barath.
Oh, that's really pretty.
Barath, but in snow.
I actually really like that design.
It's actually kind of pretty. Like the jade coloring is a really good descriptor because that is the greens that it uses.
Yeah, like I already like that more.
Quite a bit harder of a fight because you know how Barath likes to charge?
Yep.
Yeah, like Bucket said, Jade Barath will U-turn and come at you multiple times before it stops.
Yeah. That would be a harder fight.
It is a very persistent monster. I'm a little surprised that it hasn't shown up since, honestly, because it is basically, like, aside from that, it is more or less just Barath, but in the snow.
Yeah, it is kind of odd that it hasn't. I do like this a whole lot more, though, like, coloration-wise and everything.
I kind of do, too, yeah. The shinier green.
Yeah, it looks good.
It kind of works.
Yeah. Like, I definitely want to put this one higher.
I'm kind of eyeing between the Tobys and the Magma Omnitron. Would that work for you?
That works for me.
Okay.
It definitely works for me.
I know we're running low on time, but I think we can do one more just to get to an even 90 done.
Yeah, I think I can do one more.
We have one of my favorite of the little doofy beast guys, as I kind of call them. We have the Volvidon.
Hey!
The little armadillo anteater
The fucking
motherfucker.
fire. There's also fire, if I remember correctly.
Paralysis.
Paralysis. There is one that is fire that I'm thinking of, right?
Maybe a subvariant? I'm not sure.
I want to say there's something like that in Rise.
We'll find it eventually.
Yeah, we'll find it eventually.
Yeah, no, the silly tongue lashes that hit you with the paralyzing spit.
Yep.
And it farts.
Of course it does.
Yeah, one of the few creatures that causes the stench effect, which keeps you from using potions.
What a monster.
He's so fun, though. Just watching him roll up and hop about or tackle and stuff, like he's... Volvidon is animated so amazingly well. Its tongue might have been able to steal in the past by standard, but as of the modern games, it can't.
It's still so funny that deodorant was an item.
I think...
Amazing.
I can't remember what else could do stench, but this guy's just such a goof. And honestly, like the like muted red is a nice shade.
It works. It works with this design. Like it. I was about to say
the monkey.
Yeah, I remember there being an ape-like monster that was not talked very highly.
No, for good reason.
No,
honestly, Volvidon's good.
Yeah, I like this.
He's probably one of the few easier, quote unquote, easier large monsters that I am more than happy to elevate into high score.
Yeah, like this is a fun design. Honestly, it's a very fun design, and I think that would be fair.
It's a fun design, it's a simple design, and again, the combination of armadillo and anteater is really good.
Yeah, it really is good. Something I'd absolutely agree with. Bumping that up.
I think I'd put him... between base nausea and the seat. Where do you want to put him a little higher?
I think it's fine actually.
Okay.
It's a very fun design, and I like that there is like a little more to it than CT.
Yeah.
I did that.
There we go. That is the first 90 out of the 212 entries.
Let's go.
Not too bad. I think, honestly, if we don't have as many tech issues, we can do it in a second part next week.
Yeah, honestly.
You know, knock on wood, obviously.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock on this corner of my desk here. But yeah.
There you go.
Let's go.
All right.
We did it. That's very solid.
So far.
Yeah.
And we still have all this to go. Which, again, is not bad, because we did hit right about the halfway point.
Yeah, I'm actually, like, really happy we almost made it, like, halfway through these.
Yeah.
So once we get rolling, it doesn't take too long.
Grouping them by species.
Yeah, it helped. This helped a lot. I am glad that we both, like, had some insight from the first big list. I think it was really the Hoyle list that fucking helped.
Yeah.
Because that was a fucking lot more than I remembered initially.
It was a lot more, and sorry, stretching. I think the thing that's helping with this list is that with the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I knew more, you were very new.
Yes.
The Hoyo characters, with the exception of the Star Rail ones, it was definitely more the opposite.
And then this one, it's kind of like...
This one's a good in-between. I definitely recognize and have fought a lot more of the monsters, but so many of them are similar and or easily judgeable.
Yes, and I have, like...
And
viewing experience, not necessarily, like, fighting experience of a lot more.
Yeah.
So it's a good, like, a middle ground.
It's a very good middle ground, yeah.
Yeah. I'm so happy, though. This is an idea I've been very excited to do. Especially with all the stuff that Wilds has been showing.
Yeah, amongst the Hyper Wilds. This was fun.
Yeah.
This was so fun. And hey, you even found a new favorite. A new couple of favorites with, like, Amatsu and Malzeno.
I did.
Malzeno especially, again, just... Dracula Dragon.
Jeez. I'm a big fan.
Should not have taken this long for a fictional series to make a Dracula Dragon.
It still, like, befuddles me that it took, like, this long to do something like that. But then again, like, I appreciate that they seem to have this... Like, they base a lot of the new, like, monsters around, like, themes. I think that helps with creativity a lot.
It can. As long as they don't get too locked into theme.
Yeah. It's
or
like
too narrow of a theme.
You need a little bit of, like, creativity, a little flexibility. Also, hi Siege. Hello.
Hello, Siege. Also, I think it helps only applying the theme to specific monsters and not all of them.
Yes.
Like what Sunbreak did with the Frankenstein's monster in Garangolm, Dracula and Malzeno, and I'll just go ahead and say it, the last one is based on the werewolf. The big three of the horror novel monsters.
Yes.
Turned into monsters.
It's clever. I like it.
But all the other stuff in Sunbreak doesn't follow that thing, so it's fine.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good balance. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the hydrate. Thank you.
Thank you, Bucket.
That said, I should probably start getting ready for food here soon.
Oh yeah, same. I'm very hungry and I need food.
We hungry. So I'm gonna surprise somebody.
Oh, what are we getting?
We're gonna get a cutie. That got exploded. I got fucking exploded. The Hagam right here. I'm gonna throw you an Amber.
Yeah, let's go get Amber.
Get the Amber. Amber is currently playing the murder of Sonic. Still makes me giggle that that's an official Sega game. Love that. But yeah, thank you all so very much for hanging out with me and Squid, and thank you, Squid, for getting this put together. I'm excited for more.
There's quite a few good ones in the other half of the tier list, so we still got plenty of fun ahead.
Yeah. Thank you all so very much. And I'll keep you all updated over the weekend. Hopefully have a schedule out Sunday. Hopefully. We'll see. I'll try to, like, troubleshoot some stuff and find out what's exploding on me.
Danny's gonna reinstall her OBS.
Yeah. It's like the last step that I have before ISP shenanigans. Yeah. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.